Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Blunt Convoz, the real E. And as you can see, I have a special guest here, the lovely Mrs. Watson. Not only that, she is from Tori Travels as well. If you remember and watch one of my earlier videos, she was one of the sponsors and actually a couple of the videos. But yeah, we're here today. We just want to answer a few questions about Mexico. And as you can tell from the title, why Mexico? And we'll talk about, our trip here in these past almost 30 days at the time of recording. But first off, I guess we started with the obvious. So this far, have you been, liking it down here so far? I know we usually love it, but just let
Yeah,
we want to hear, they want to hear from us, so we want to, just kind of go live while we're here.
yeah.
So,
It has been great, but as a mom, it's been hard. This is the longest vacation that we've had away from our kids. So it has been hard being away from home this long, but it's really been a good time. You can't be disappointed here in Mexico, as you can see. Just look at the backdrop. I mean, we're not far from the beach. Everything is literally right here. So it's been a really good time.
okay. Yeah. And it's been really, really hot. You can probably see some sweat, but yeah, let's go ahead and I guess state the obvious. Why Mexico? People ask us why you go down there. Why, there's many other places to go here in the States, but why Mexico?
Yeah. Well, I will start by saying we love it here. First of all, it's close. You heard me talk about the family, the kids, leaving them behind. It's literally a 3 hour, maybe a little bit more than 3 hour plane ride from us, for us from Chicago, a direct flight. So we're close to home, and it's a paradise. Ever since we came down here together to this area, we fell in love, and we realize that it's safe, so we don't have anything to worry about as far as our safety is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
It was reasonably priced when we first started visiting. The prices have increased as they have everywhere else, but overall it's still cheaper than what it would cost for us to vacation almost anywhere else in the world, almost. And again, we're close to home, so it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things. And it's not as expensive to get on the plane to come here. Flight is
Yeah,
about 3.5, close to 4 hours in the most. I mean, you can't beat it. We love the people here. They've
yeah,
been nothing but good to us down here. Everything is convenient in this area. I just think you can't beat it, and we just want to really kind of clear up that negative, the negative backlash that Mexico get about everything. Throughout this video, I may put up some clips of some of the places we're here, and while we're talking. But I mean, you can't, again, like I said, you can't beat what you pay for and what you get. Like you say, you can see the
yeah,
view, Cozumel in the back.
yeah.
There's so much to do.
The view is priceless. You cannot pay for a view like this for less than what we've paid for so far. And to be away from home, just to be a couple of hours outside of this, or a few hours outside of the States, and be able to enjoy a place like this, it's amazing. It really is.
Okay, right. Okay, so I guess now, you know, uh, I guess we can talk about what part that we're actually in now. 'Cause I don't know if we actually did we mention it? Did I mention it
You
at the
did.
beginning? Okay, so yeah,
Yeah, you may have mentioned it.
yeah. Let's just talk about just Playa itself, and just some of the things it has to offer. Some more things it has to offer. Like I said, and I'm big on this one, is the convenience.
Yeah.
Everything is convenient. You don't really need a car when you get here. Everything is walking distance. Uh, if you even want to go down to Tulum, it's a short trip down there. You can get on the bus, which is a few dollars literally to get there and back.
Yeah.
Take the train. We're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just you know,
So we're
convenience for me.
Yeah, so we're in, as Eric mentioned, we're in Playa del Carmen, which is in the state of Quintana Roo. Now, Mexico is it's a humongous country, and most people would question us about coming to Mexico is safety. We didn't talk enough about that, I don't feel, but it's extremely safe. My husband, I haven't been to any other part of Mexico apart from Cancun, Cabo, the safe place, the resort type spaces.
Right.
But those border states, I have never been to those. But you'll have your Tijuana that I've heard about, and maybe some of Guadalajara, even though I've heard that there's some really beautiful places in Guadalajara too. But
Juarez. Yeah.
Juarez,
Yeah.
those are some places where I've heard there's a huge cartel presence, and so I could see why there will be concerns around going to those spaces. However, we're in the state of Quintana Roo, so we're all the way south, right? Are we kind of far south?
We're more on the eastern board, more on the
Okay,
eastern
so
side.
and
yeah.
we're not some parts of the state, Quintana Roo, we're not far at all from Belize.
Nope.
So that's where we are. And so Playa del Carmen is a small, like a sleepy beach town inside of the state of Quintana Roo. And it's hot, which is different from some of the other parts of Mexico, which may be on the cooler side. Like we wanted to go visit Mexico City, which is probably 10 degrees or better, less than it is here. So it's a little bit more comfortable, but it might be a little bit more central in the country of Mexico. And so Playa is extremely safe. We haven't had any issues. We walked at night to go get food to eat. I mean, we're not
Just to
standing
go
at the
for a walk.
ATM in the middle of the night, like punching our ATM, our PIN numbers in. But we're out going to the grocery store. We're doing day-to-day things, dropping off our laundry, getting food. Early in the morning, we're walking. Late at night, we're walking. And we haven't had any issues at all. There hasn't been one time where we felt like we wasn't safe. Now, we've had to like double check our ticket right off of the tourist street because we wanted to make sure that we wasn't overcharged for anything. But apart from that, we've been extremely safe. And as far as our location, that's where we are.
Yeah. And that tourist street she mentioned is called Fifth Ave. And if you've been to Playa before, you heard of Playa, or when you look up Playa, the first thing you're going to hear about is Fifth Ave, which is right here behind us. We like to stay close to it, close to the action, which can kind of get noisy here at night sometimes, but
Yes.
it don't bother us at all. We go to sleep
No.
like nothing's going on, but you have to understand where you are. This is a
Yeah.
high tourist area, high traffic area.
Yeah.
It's going to be jumping late at night, 2, 3 in the morning still.
Yeah.
But overall, it's really nice through here. They keep it clean.
Yes.
They come out early in the morning. They are sweeping the streets. They're washing the streets.
Yes, they are.
And they are,
Hard workers.
very hard workers.
And well, right now, I guess I want to mention that we are staying in the Airbnb. So as far as where we're living, we're in an Airbnb and we're located on our rooftop. So that's what's giving us this really beautiful view right now. And so we're not far. And Eric is right; it gets loud and noisy. So if you can't sleep with the loud and noisy, definitely you don't want to be in this area. But there's plenty of places that you can go and stay in the area and still be pretty close in close proximity to most things. So I don't feel like anybody has anything to worry about. I would encourage everybody, if you get the opportunity to, definitely come and visit. And it's not an expensive stay. We're gonna be here for 30 days, and we'll talk more about the cost of everything shortly.
Right. Okay. Well, like we spoke with other expats that's actually living here and that's been here for years, right? And they still always have positive thing to say. Only thing is, and this is everywhere, they little petty crime thing, like they may try to steal somebody's bag or something, but it's not much here. I don't think. I think it's more back out in the city here area, but you don't hear too much. I mean, things happen everywhere. Let's not make that mistake and think this is 100%. But for the most part, it's really safe here, and we feel comfortable walking around at night. We don't have to Vicky clutching her bag or anything like that. No, I mean it's fine, and hopefully we won't run into any of those things. But I can say it's really safe.
Yeah, and we didn't rent a car, so we walk everywhere. And there's been a time where we wanted to go to a restaurant that was a little far, so we just jumped in the cab because it's been super hot. And if we didn't want to look like we were in a pool by the time we got there, we just got in the cab, and the cab took us, and we paid for him to bring us back this way. And it was a short drive. Apart from that, we've been walking everywhere. We literally can walk, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so to go down to the ferry to go to over to Cozumel, because the little island, you guys may not be able to see it much in the video, but Cozumel is like right behind us. So we can walk down 20 minutes or so and we can get the ferry to go over to Cozumel, and we walk. Again, we walk. Walkability is like 100%. There isn't any place that you can get for anything that you need and not be able to walk to get there.
Right. And another thing, and this heat, and she knows I've been griping about this heat, but when you get up in the morning, you go for your walk, and believe it or not, you're going down Fifth, and there are things going on, things to see. A lot of people be out, and before you know it, we get back here, we are almost at 4 miles, or sometimes over 4 miles. So you're gonna get your steps in, get your exercise in. You're gonna be sweating, but you're gonna get it in, and that's just a portion of, you have to actually see, and we're going to try to bring some more clips in so you guys can see a lot of these things around here, because it is like, when you get here, you got to get accustomed to the culture here and how they do things. And once, I just say it'll take you just with us for a couple of days and we was good.
Yeah.
But I know we mentioned accommodations earlier, but let's mention a couple of more, maybe kind of like, like our laundry. I mentioned that earlier, and
yeah. So there are some places that you can get, like one place that we rented the last time we were here a few months ago, that was a laundry, that was washer and dryer inside of the building, or inside of the condo building.
No cost.
It didn't cost us anything to use the laundry either, which was fantastic. The only thing we had to do was just sign up whenever we wanted to wash, and we reserved our space and we were good. But here, there isn't a washer and dryer. Right. So there's laundry services. That's one thing that we love. When we first got here and we found out that we could drop our clothes at the laundromat that's called Lavanderia.
Yeah.
Once we found out that we can drop our things off, and they will wash, dry, and fold your clothes.
Wrap them up.
And the first time we came, it smelled so good. It was like, oh my God. And it was cheap, but that was a few years ago. Now it's gotten a little bit more, but this last time, like we literally just went today, we had a lot of stuff that we dropped off. It was probably about 16 kilos of clothes, and it cost us $40 to wash them, which we didn't have to do any of the things. I guess it wasn't bad, but it made me instantly. It was a lot of clothes. But I immediately regretted not having a washer and dryer. Like in that moment, I wish that we had a washer and dryer in our unit. So
that'll be on the list.
When you're staying for long periods of time, or if you're just here for like a weekend, or if you're here for a week, you may not need a laundry service, but for extended stays, like we'll be here for a total of 30, maybe a little bit 31 or 32 days. We needed laundry because we packed a couple suitcases and we needed to rotate our things because we was not going to overpack. The studios that we rent are usually small. It's just Eric and I. So bottom line is, there is a laundry service, which is super convenient. Where we're staying now, there's one right literally next door, and there's another one around the corner. So there's options for keeping your clothes clean, for sure.
Now, this one probably goes without saying, but I think I'll say it anyway. There's not a shortage of restaurants.
No.
Not at all. Mm-mm. And I'm going to talk about one in particular, and you probably know where I'm going with this one. Okay. I'm going right around the corner.
Okay.
To our favorite jerk chicken spot.
Farron's. We definitely going to... Okay. So I'll put some clips of Farron's jerk chicken. If you all come, please check them out. The food is always on point. I left a review the last time, or maybe the time before last when we were here. I think, Google sends you those periodic emails telling you how good your reviews are doing. And I think over 100,000 people looked at my review.
Wow. Yeah, and
it's a popular place. And the food is always fresh. It's always delicious. The jerk was jerking. And for those Jamaicans, we went to Jamaica and we went to, what was the name of that restaurant? Scotches in Montego Bay. They made a big deal about Scotches. Scotches don't have nothing on Farron. And I want to say that the guy who owned Farron's is Jamaican himself. So I guess it ain't really a diss to anybody.
Right.
the Mexicans do work there, but there's a Jamaican guy that owns it, and I'm sure he gave them the recipe, all the things, and it is
They
delicious. The
got it.
ribs, the chicken.
Beans and
Oh my
rice,
god, the
the
beans and
coleslaw.
rice.
They
It's
got the
so
mac and
good.
cheese
Oh my
there.
god. Now the mac and cheese, I could take or leave the mac and cheese, but the beans and rice. Everything else is delicious. Everything
Yeah,
else is so good, but there
seasoned
is not a
fries.
shortage
It's
of
great.
food places. At like every other place is a restaurant. Honestly,
So yeah, and the place across the street, right across the street from Farron,
the wings
is
place.
called Wings FC, and
Yeah,
ever since we went there, you have been the one harping on that one for a
I do.
long
I
time. I mean, I
love the
love it.
chicken
Now the chicken
wings.
is fresh and is good.
Yeah,
The drinks you get over there, I think it's a decent price and
huge.
it's huge, huge
They're big
glass.
glasses. It's probably $5 or something. Maybe Eric can put up a
Yeah,
picture of the
man.
margaritas that we've had there and other little mixed drinks. I've had mojito there. It comes in a big old glass like this, and it's like $5, $7, whatever. 120 pesos equal. It's somewhere between there. They're humongous now, and they give you a whole wing. So we get a 5 wing combo. You get a whole wing. It's not like at
You get the
Wingstop in the
flat and the
States.
drum.
Right. They connect. They leave your wing connected. You get both pieces, both the drum and the flat. They don't
Yes.
sell it as two separate wings. It's one whole chicken wing. And although they've gotten smaller since the last time we were there, it's still delicious.
Yeah, it's still delicious, man. You can't go wrong with those two places. Those are just two of our favorites right off.
Yeah.
There's plenty behind
So
us over on there.
many.
You can't
Yeah.
count. And also, let's let's talk about something that's really important, because we just had a issue where you wasn't feeling well,
Oh
and
yeah.
there are places, clinics and stuff here you can go to, and there's a pharmacy every
Yeah.
5 or 10 steps, like,
Yeah.
literally. So, I mean, there not a shortage of needs here. If you need some
Yeah.
stuff, they have it here. They have it,
Yeah.
and I guess I was a little afraid at first or whatever, but once we did my little due diligence, and I think we was initially supposed to be here 60 days,
Yeah.
but we had to cut it back for personal reasons. But I think we could have did 60, no problem.
Yeah.
But
I feel like now we're just really getting the hang of things, like
Yeah.
our daily routine. I was sick like the first week. I couldn't hardly get any rest. I was just worried about the kids at home, if they was going to remember all the things. And they're adults. We have a 19-year-old. She's going to be 20. And then our son is 24. He'll be 25 years old. And they not going to say super grown, but they're adults and they are capable.
yeah, independent. They pretty
They are
good with it.
very independent, but we don't know what they're capable of. We like to, hold them as these little people that they once were, but being away and like trusting them at the house to do all the things that they're supposed to be doing and us not be there was definitely a challenge. Anyway, the first couple of weeks it was hard for me to get rest truly. So I probably made myself sick from, stress, which you will think like, why is she tripping? She should really enjoy her time. But it was the first time I've been away from home for this a period of time.
It's a mother's instinct, I guess. Or
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah, and then it's like the summertime, and then my daughter was like, "Oh, Mom, are you leaving?" So there was some indication that we had talked to her about this before we left, and she said she would be fine. But it was time to go, and she's like, "Are you guys still leaving?" So and I'm like, "Oh God," So then I started feeling bad because I was like, I don't want her to feel like we just abandoned
Right.
her, and she went somewhere else, being out of school for summertime and all that good stuff. But anyway. I guess the stress began to make me sick, and I had headaches and all that stuff. And so when I decided not to self-medicate anymore, trying to figure out what was wrong with me, I told Eric, I said, maybe I need to go to the doctor. And so we went around the corner
Yeah,
to a
around the corner
clinic.
here. It's literally right around the corner, literally.
Yeah.
And
It was affordable because we didn't.
Yeah,
We
they're pretty
said we
good.
should have bought the travel insurance, but we just kind of like didn't get around to it, and then we ended up having to pay out of pocket, which wasn't much. It was like under 200, like $100 and something, and that included blood work
yeah.
and to see the doctor and prescriptions.
Right.
So
So yeah, healthcare is not too expensive. I've heard some nightmares, but when you read those, kind of take into consideration those people's circumstances and everything, because when they out here, they're trying to get cheap care at these different places, and they're private health places, and it doesn't work the same way as a public, like a general hospital or anything like that. But just kind of keep those things in mind. And I think it's really not as difficult as people are making it out to be. And
Yeah,
some of these, I don't know, just do your own research.
for
Uh,
sure.
we're gonna keep it real with you because I think
That's the only way to
that's the
be.
only way to especially if somebody is trying to come down and
Yeah.
then they watch the
And really
video.
enjoy themselves.
Right.
Now, and I have to thank Eric for this because he's the logistics guy. I am more of the sporadic person. I'm like, oh my God, let's go. And I haven't hardly did any research. I mean, I've done some research, but I don't dig deep like he digs deep. So he finds the places for us to stay. He thinks about location and the proximity to certain things. And I probably would miss some of those things. I definitely have him to thank for looking for taking the time and really looking for a place that's convenient and keeping our safety in mind and location
Yeah,
to all the things and back and
I
forth
know.
to the airport, finding
Yeah,
arranging our ride, and he does all
transportation.
those things.
And I know these streets, I think, pretty good now. To the way we're sitting, going this way, the streets are like we're on what 30th, 32nd, and then we got 34, and going this way, I think it's going down. So it's 20, you're going 26, 24th that way.
Yeah.
And the streets going this way are by tens because this is 10 right here, and the next street over is 20.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty simple. You can get the hang of it easy.
Yeah.
Just look at the map. It's not hard.
And I'd like to say, I think I want to circle back around to the safety issue because most people, when they come here to visit, they may say, oh, I go to Mexico, I feel more comfortable if I stayed on a resort versus going out in town. Like it felt, and that's the way we visited at first. We didn't just come here and stay in an Airbnb. I feel like I may be a little afraid that way too. But once we have been here a time or two already, like we stayed in excuse me, we were in Cancun and then we were in Cabo. Cancun isn't far from here.
Puerto
Cabo was way
Morales.
somewhere. We were in Puerto Morales. We stayed on resorts in those places, but then we decided to step out a bit and we said, you know what? Let's try an Airbnb. Like we liked it, and we took the leap. So by no means are we really pumping. Do Airbnb right off the rip. Do what feels comfortable for you, because hearing it in the video and seeing it for yourself and coming here to visit for yourself is two different things. And I understand that there's people that are a little bit more skeptical and that maybe are cautious, that want to make sure that it's going to work and that it's all the things that we say it is. So definitely do what feels good for you. But it's, as far as we're concerned, and we do come together. He and I have not traveled solo. There's a lot of people that are solo travelers. I I have some reasons why I don't go alone. So I definitely wouldn't go anywhere without this guy. And he's my safety net. He's all the things. I just got through telling you all about how he looks out for both of us. So I wouldn't go anywhere without him. So for the solo folks and those that traveling couples, do what feels best for you initially. Come and see what it's like, and then you get weaned off. But I have got to add, we just this morning ran into a small part of a big African American expat group, and I don't know the names of them, but we met some people and they were very welcoming. So you may see a lot of them walking around. There's a lot of us that are here. A lot of us are Canadians. There was one that was just up here on the rooftop. He's looking for a place now. So there's a lot of us that are here. So I feel that once you get here and you start to get a feel for things, that you can then make the decision about comfortability and if you be willing to take the chance that we took. But I can tell you, you probably won't regret it. It's a good chance that you won't.
Yeah, I know, and I know, like we keep circling around to the safety thing, and the reason for that is because when we talk to people about down here, they don't ask about a lot of other things. Well, how do you guys do your laundry? What do you guys eat, or where do you stay? The first thing they ask is about safety.
Yeah.
So now, let me make this clear. Don't get me wrong. Everywhere you go, watch yourself. Take care of your things, holding your bag, because things happen in the States, things could happen here. So
Yeah.
nothing is 100%. I just want to make that clear. But since we've been here, we haven't had any issues with that. No funny looks. Nobody followed us around the stores. They treat us like
With
anybody
locals,
else.
they don't
Yeah,
care. I mean,
nope.
they're like, okay, you're a person, you're here. And that's one thing that I love about being here too, is that we can go someplace where we feel wanted, we feel accepted, and we get treated equally, and we don't have to second guess it. Now, some of that came up in the grocery store. We ain't gonna lie. We felt that when we were in the grocery store, that the lady was kind of like coming down the
Oh
aisle because we were down there. But then she might have
no.
legitimately just been doing her work. But we kind of bring over those
Yeah.
issues that we have from the States. And we're kind of like, I know she ain't following me.
Yeah.
So that
That's
might have even been an
yeah.
issue. And I had to talk to Eric about it. We kind of talked amongst each other and we brought each other down and we're like, you know what, maybe we tripping. Maybe that's not what that is, because we have never had that experience. Even the locals, like in the stores, even on Fifth Avenue, they be like, my brother from another mother. You know, they're
Yeah.
trying to sell something. But even like making a statement like that, to me, gives off the impression that you are not no different than me, my brother from another mother. You know, you're just like I am. And so
And
I
of course, they're trying to
appreciate
make the
that.
sale
Of course,
too.
they're trying to make the sale,
But
but they could have said a whole lot of other things.
if you and usually when somebody trying to sell you something and you turn them down, normally they would get upset, get attitude.
They
But
don't.
here, you say no gracias or whatever, and they will be like, okay, thank you, have a good
Okay.
day.
Buenos dias.
And then they'll see you again
Yeah.
and speak to you. Now they call me Chicago. Hey, Chicago. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, they are very welcoming people. The
Yeah.
restaurants, they go over and beyond for you. Even after you eat at a restaurant, you have to ask for the
Tip.
ticket because they don't just bring
Ticket.
you the
Yeah.
they just don't bring you your check.
They
But
don't.
you can sit there and talk.
Chit chat.
Let
They
them know
don't.
when you're ready to go.
Yeah, they don't make you feel rushed out. So that is, Eric talked earlier about there being cultural differences or getting used to the way that they do things. And that's definitely one that could be outputting. Like, what's taking them so long? Why they ain't brought us our check? We used to, once we're wrapping up our meal, the server would come and drop the check on the table and say, hey, whenever you all are done, here's the ticket. We will sit there and we'll chit chat. There is no pressure to feel like, well, you gotta hurry up and rotate because we're gonna bring the next people in. They don't bring you the check until you ask for it. So
Sometimes
it
they
is not.
bring you something to drink back while you're sitting there or
Yeah.
something. It's whatever. But
Yeah, they definitely. So it's no. Don't take it the wrong way. For those that may come here to visit, they're waiting. It's a cultural thing, and I feel like it's the manners that we ain't used to, unfortunately, and they just are taught to wait until we ask for it.
yeah, yep. So at the moment, that's all I have at the moment. 'Cause tomorrow we're gonna be hitting the road, going down to Tulum.
Yeah.
And then later this week we're gonna be heading on to Bacalar. So we're gonna be doing some videos on those two trips, and kind of bringing some more insight on that and how things are in those two places. We never been. So well, she's been to Tulum once, but I never
Yeah.
been, and we never been to Bacalar before.
Yeah.
And hopefully, once we get this place, we can't wait to show you guys this spot. Is
Bacalar is like,
Oh my
they
God.
call that the Mal. We obviously we've never been there before. They call it the Maldives of Mexico. So it is a extremely beautiful place. We're hoping that the weather is great and we can go there and have a good time. But we are forgetting something. We didn't talk about the cost.
we don't want to talk about numbers. No,
We didn't want to talk about numbers because I'm sure people want to know.
All right.
You're like, how could you afford to go and stay for 30 days?
Okay, number one, what you want to start with the
Accommodation. That's the
like
biggest thing. Like, what we gonna say? How much did it cost? And you
Or
can
you want
talk
to start
to
with the
this.
plane ticket then?
No, well, I mean, the plane tickets
Range from
so it can range from, and I guess it depends on the airline too. But I guess when you
true.
put everything together, including bags and that, it can cost you somewhere between $350 and then when you travel to. In our experience over time, $350 and we got business tickets this
yeah, we
time.
bumped
So and it was like eight something, almost $900 round trip
right,
per person.
right.
Not bad. Okay, it's not like going to, and no shade because we want to go to Thailand. We hope that we get a chance, if not this year, hopefully sometime in the future. But what I'm trying to say is that it's a cheap flight, cheaper, like half the cost
Right.
of going to Thailand, which a lot of our
And
brothers
closer.
and sisters, and closer, but a lot of our brothers and sisters are going over to Thailand, which I absolutely love.
Yes.
That they're doing that. And hopefully we get a chance to do that soon. So that's what you'll be looking at as far as plane tickets are concerned. So you're talking about $700 for two people to go.
Yep.
And you can do Google Flights. Go to flight. You can put in, leave the dates blank, and put in your locations, and then the cost. It'll give you an idea because it's gonna vary depending on when you're
Yeah.
flying.
That's true. Yeah.
And one thing I love about Google Flights is that our preferred airline is United. We've been flying United it was Delta and that was United. We've been doing it for the longest. But on Google Flights, it'll bring up the cost for different airlines. So you can go whichever one you choose.
Right. Okay. So I am real big on my living accommodation here, and I love this is what I love. I love the views. You know, we have a pool right here, and I love the area. I love being within range of convenience, and sometimes that costs. It really does. But there are plenty of places down here that are very reasonable. For 30 days, we had this place. It's a studio apartment, which is, and this is a fairly new place. We actually visited this place before they got finished building it. And I got this place for about $1,100
For 30 days.
for 30 days.
You can't even stay in a hotel for 30 days for $1,100.
Right.
So all in, I mean, we spent less between accommodations and airfare, which we did a month and some change ago before we traveled. We booked it out a little bit at a time. It was under $2,000. And I also like to add, we are coming from Chicago too. So the plane ticket will depend on, the cost will depend on where you're flying from.
Right, right. The ride from the airport, which, includes sometimes they get Coronas, you get water, sometimes Wi-Fi, just depends on but we usually spend around 60, $70, something like that. It kind of depends, right? Each way.
Yeah. Right. And we do private car.
Yep,
you can do
yep.
a ADO bus, which is cheap. I want to say
we never took the bus.
We don't care much for like all the people and once we get off the airplane, we like want to chill. We don't want to be bothered with all the things.
Quiet
and then the
ride.
ADO bus, it lets you off down on 5th, which is down by Cozumel, the ferry for Cozumel. So you have a nice little trek with your luggage, and we just wasn't gonna do that. We just need door-to-door service, child. We wasn't gonna do that. So, but the ADO bus,
it's convenient,
it's good and convenient,
and cheap.
I want to say it's probably less than.
It says it's just a few dollars.
$20. I don't even know that it's $20.
It may not be
from
$20
the airport.
But,
no, it might be like 10. I don't know, but it's cheap. That's the only thing we know. Yeah, but there are other options, and there's a Tram Maya. And the Tram Maya, I believe, leaves from Cancun Airport.
Yep. It
so
stops
you
here.
can get on a train, which is really beautiful. I want to say it's fairly new. We are going to be taking the train to Bacalar and to Tulum tomorrow.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, today is June 1st. So 2025. You guys will see it. It may not post on that day, but today, as we're speaking, is June the 1st.
Okay. And just to give you an idea, this kind of varies too. But since we love Farron's and the wings place, for food, that I think it was like $35. That was a meal for two.
Yeah.
And we get a large, like a nice portion of ribs that we had.
It was a rib dinner, y'all.
Two
for
big
two
sides,
people.
Rice and beans and coleslaw.
Yeah.
And then, they give you some bread and stuff with it too.
Yeah,
some
we
nice
got rolls. And then for the two of us, so we have enough ribs for two. We had two sides, rice and beans and coleslaw. And they gave us rolls.
Yep.
And I ate the rest of it this afternoon. So we had leftovers last night between the two of us. And we spent $36. $36. Are y'all for real right now? For $36.
Some good jerk chicken. Good.
Delicious jerk wings. Now, the sauce was hot because they like stuff hot here in Mexico. It was smoking hot. But we could have literally ate the ribs without the sauce. It was just that good.
Yep.
You have some good ribs when you don't need the sauce. And then for the wings, I don't even think it's like $10 for the combo. The wing combo. I don't think it's...
10-ish. It's somewhere in there.
10-ish. It's like 210 pesos. So it's a little bit more than $10. 210 pesos for like a combo, if I'm not mistaken.
And remember, in the States, it's 5 wings here, but in the States, it'll be 20. But no, it'll be 10. 10, because you get 5.
You get the drums.
5 wings, if you get both. So I'm sorry, my math was off. But you get, it'll be a 10 piece, which you get in the States for What
A lot
about?
more than that. And Wingstop, I mean, the combos are like
Yeah,
$16.
it can be pretty expensive.
Yeah, like 14 to $16. So it's the food, although it's more than what it was when we first started to visit because everything has naturally gone up. Um, but it's still cheaper than what we would pay in our area. Again, it varies depending on where you live, but in our area, it's still cheaper for the two of us to eat here and to eat good meal. And when I tell you that they food is so good, we have not had, I'm not gonna say not ever at all, but we've maybe not even a handful of times have we had a bad meal, like a bad tasting meal. They know how to season their food, and presentation matters. The food, even the coffee, and every little thing that they bring to you and put in front of you,
I'll put
it's
those up.
like, oh my God. They care about, you eat with your eyes first. They care about the way that the food looks and it makes you want to eat it or not because it's so pretty. You like, I don't even want to touch it. But I'm sure Eric can insert some clips in there, probably from the Italian restaurant when they had the chicken breast all stacked up.
My
That was just so
morning
beautiful.
go-to coffee shop is Al Cacao. Every morning they have great croissants there. They have
Fresh and
the best
soft.
mochas. We drink the coffee, and you
Yeah.
have the
I have frappe. I do
frappe, the
frappe between the cold and hot.
cappuccinos.
But it's so
Yeah,
hot. I don't want no hot coffee. I go
yeah.
with the frappe.
Well, if we coming off our walk, no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But if we just go in there in the morning, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I
Well,
don't
we're going to
think
continue this
so.
more in the other video going down to Tulum and Bacalar. So
Yeah.
if you guys have any questions, leave us some questions in the comments. Tell us what you think. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up, like the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you are, thank you. And thank you for watching the video.
Yeah.
Before we go, we're going to pop this bottle real quick and give a little toast.
Yes.
And thank you guys for watching. And
Thank
we're going to chill out the
you.
rest of the day up here because it's cool. The wind is blowing a
Yes.
little bit.
We're going to
And,
get us something to eat because we haven't had dinner. I ate the lunch. He hasn't had lunch yet. So we'll do that. And then,
And by the way, this is like an election day today, June 1st.
Yes.
And so they're not selling any alcohol.
that's right.
So they want to make sure you vote sober. All right.
Exactly. And that's interesting, but it says a lot about the people. But also, Eric mentioned Tori Travels. I am a travel blogger or starting to blog our travel. I wish I would have started some time ago. You can follow me on Instagram, Tori Travels.
I'll leave those down in the description for you. Everything you want to reach out to her. Look at some of the clips she put up from some of the things that we do.
Food.
Yeah, some of the beach. She's
the beach
down
club.
at the beach. Yep.
We love it. Yeah.
So it's a lot. We can talk about this all day long if we wanted to, but just to keep it at a good length here video. But we'll be back most definitely, and we're gonna give you guys an update on the next couple of stops.
Yeah.
And maybe some short vlogs here while we out on 5th. Maybe I'll upload a walk down 5th.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
So you can actually see what 5th is if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, this is all we have right now today. So
Did you want some more?
thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Peace out.